We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. I have a book haul that I'm going to be talking, showing, doing, filming, editing, and uploading today. So this is the third time that I have filmed this. Something happened like a week or so ago that really put me off on sharing new books with people because I feel like I'm being judged a lot for it. But listen, I'm not the only one that does book hauls. I am not the only one that has a large amount of books. I am not the only one that is supporting authors. I am not the only one that has adult money. I am not the only, whatever. I don't get it. I literally have a hobby and you're complaining. I don't get it. So that being said, if you have a problem with me buying books, go outside and touch grass, babe, because it's not taking up space in your house. It's not using any of your money. It's putting money back into your economy though. So boom, bam, and pow. That's it. That's my little rant. I really needed to get that off my chest. If you follow me on Instagram, then you already know what happened. I really needed to get that off my chest. Okay? That being said, I have a book haul that we're doing today. And considering all of these books, I have hauled the last week or two of March, all of April, and the first week of May. In that amount of time, this is actually not that big, considering. That's what she said. So, there we go. That's the intro. Hi, my name is Beth, and welcome. Welcome to my channel. Ding. Let's dive in. The first one on the top, on the tippity root. This is not in any particular order, but that's how my brain. Okay, so you know like you have type A people? Bitch, I am type Z. I am like the opposite. The way on the other side of a type A. So, heller. The first book, we have The Unseen, a novel by Anya Alborn. This is an ARC. This book actually comes out in August. I think I'm gonna contact my co-host for the Cereal and Milk Book Club. We haven't picked out our October's pick because we wanted something spooky and we just didn't know at the time when we picked the entire year's agenda. But this could be it. It could be. I've read one other book by Anya Alborn and that was Brother, and I really loved it. It's one of my favorite horror books. Anyway, this one there's an orphan in this one. Okay, that's a little extra special. So let me go over the synopsis with you. Sit down. Okay. Isla Hansen, a mother reeling from a devastating loss, is beside herself with grief when a mysterious orphan appears on the outskirts of the Hansens' secluded Colorado property. Although strange and unexplainable, the child's presence breathes new life into Isla. But as they settle in, Isla's husband, Luke, and their 5 children notice, I cannot say this word, peculiarities. Some peculiar shit, we're just gonna say that hint at something far beyond the ordinary, anomalies that challenge the very fabric of reality itself. The tension within the Hansen household grows, and with it, the sense that there's something very wrong with the new kid in the house. I am all for creepy kids in books. Sign me up. I love it. I love it. And that's what this is giving. I'm excited about this one. So, indie next deadline. Library reads deadline. I don't know what that means. Am I on a deadline for this book? This next book is a book that I have been on the hunt for. Okay, I have been on the hunt for, and I could never find it in good condition. But I got this friend. Her name is Carly. On Instagram, it's Carly Pagemaster. In the Discord, it's also Carly Pagemaster, if the name sounds familiar and you're in our group chat. But she works at a bookstore, and one came across her little desk, and she's like, you know what? Beth, do you want it? And I was like, yes, absolutely. It is Carrie by Stephen King, and it's the original cover in hardback, and this is it doesn't have to be a first edition or a first printing for me. I'm just specifically looking for the original covers and like hardback specific. I want the OG covers. I don't understand why they can't continue printing them. If I were to go and buy Twilight now, and Twilight's been out for how long? A long time. If I were to go and buy, actually its 20th anniversary is coming up in September. Have you seen the special editions that are coming out for the 20th anniversary? Anyway, if I were to go buy Twilight now, the cover would still be the same. I could still get it in hardback. If I were to go and buy Game of Thrones now, and it came out a long ass time ago, the covers are still the same, and I could still get it in hardback. Why can't they do that with Stephen King books? I don't get it. Oh, what I am also really on the hunt for is a signed Stephen King book. I asked like the people at my old half-price books where we used to live if they ever get them there, and the guy was like, yes, we do occasionally. A lot of the times it's when they get somebody's like entire collection. I'm assuming after somebody passes away, their family probably is like, oh, let's bring all these Stephen King books to half-price books. And he's like, that's normally when they get them in. And they, like, the cheapest he's ever seen one go for is $800. Babe, I was looking on Etsy and eBay and all these other things. People be wanting like thousands of dollars for a signed Stephen King book. And listen, I don't want to wish no like ill stuff on Stephen King because I love him, his favorite author. Like, you get it? I mean, none of us are getting out of this alive. You know what I'm saying? So one day when he does unfortunately pass away, can you imagine how much those books are going to be worth then? If they're worth that much while he is still alive. Imagine. So every time I go to like a Goodwill and stuff and I see Stephen King books, I try to like look through them and be like, maybe they have a secret one here and they didn't notice it and I can get it for like $2. But so far no luck. In the little Discord group that I have, we chat about everything, chit chat about everything Stephen King, Brandon Sanderson, fantasy books, romance books, whatever. We just be chit and chatting up in there. A lot of the girls in there love fantasy and they like dad fantasy is what we've been calling it. So like Brandon Sanderson, Robin Hobb, John Gwynne, like door stoppers, if you will. But they've been added to my list and I've been just slowly gathering, and one of the authors again was John Gwynne. And this is the first book in The Faithful and the Fallen. Is it a series? Is it a trilogy? Is it whatever? I don't know. A trilogy is still considered a series. Is it not? So anyway, I don't know what this is about, but listen, I don't want to read the synopsis. It's fantasy, and to me, and for my brain, if I read a fantasy synopsis, I go into the synopsis confused and I come out of the synopsis confused. Like, I need to actually read the book to like get it. You know what I mean? I should have asked Ricky to give me like a little snippet summary so I could tell you. All I know is the world is broken. I'm assuming it follows 4 people: Corbin, Evnis, Veritas, Nethier. And it can never be made whole again. John Gwynne hits all the right spots in his epic tale of good versus evil. Gwyn is definitely one to watch. That's one of the blurbs on here. Anyway, I just picked up the first one because I'm like, okay, that's what I'm like. Oh, I know. So back at the end of March, Target had a sale that was buy 2 get 1 free. And so I bought 2 and I got 1 free. And that was part of the sale. And it was only the first book that I could find, I believe, and that's the only reason, that's the reason why I just got the first book. So I got 2 other books to go with that one book. And so excuses. The other one that I got was Blood Over Bright Haven by Emma Wong in hardcover. Emma Wong is the author of The Sword of Kaigan that everybody has been loving lately, and I do have that book. Have I read it yet? No, but we're not here to talk about that. This was another one by that same author, and I just listen, we already had the intro. I don't have to give an excuse as to why I buy books. We love a little map here. The first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of mages unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever in this standalone dark fantasy from the author of The Sword of Kaigan. And I believe The Sword of Kaigan is also a standalone fantasy. That's nice, because a lot of the times I'm like, oh yes, let me start this, and then you realize, oh, you thought it was a trilogy, but actually it's an entire fucking multiverse, and you have 50 books ahead of you, 50 door stoppers, babe. Buckle up. You know what I mean? So sometimes coming across a good fantasy book that is actually a standalone. Yeah. Up next, we have This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. This was my book club book for the month of April, so I have read this already and I really enjoyed it. Well, it follows one specific main character, and her father has just passed away and she really needs some form of escapism, and so she kind of gets zoned in to true crime. and she joins this true crime community online and like these chat boards and stuff, and she becomes really close friends with these other people. They become amateur sleuths and they get really good at it to the point where they actually have helped solved a couple cases. Well, then this one case lands in their lap. It is about these 3 girls being murdered in like this college town in Idaho, and it gets a little buck wild. I really enjoyed this book. This is not a wrap up, but I'm just telling you, I think I gave it 4.5 stars. Also, at the very beginning of this book, if you're going to read this book, there is an author's note. It is not in the audiobook because I mainly listened to the audiobook for this. It's not in the audiobook, so I didn't know. However, I think it is very important to read the author's note. It's only like 1.5 pages long, or not even that, because she just talks about things that occur in this book, because a lot of the cases and stuff in this book were inspired by true life cases, and it's also inspired by the fact that she herself lost her dad a couple years ago and got truly invested in true crime as well as her coping mechanism for that, and that's essentially how she got the inspiration to write this book. If you are a fan of like true crime sleuthing, there's a spider. I think it's on the outside of my window though. Yeah, we're all good. Katie mentioned a TV show called, oh my gosh, what is it called? It's on Netflix. Something about the cats. I'll have to like put it right here. If you enjoyed that, you're gonna enjoy this book. She said it was a lot like that with like the way that they sleuthed and stuff. But anyway, I got this book and I enjoyed it. And the third book that I got with those other 2 books that was like buy 2 get 1 free was this book here. I've actually also already read this one. This is Finley Donovan, Rolls the Dice. I picked up books 1, 2, and 3 from a used bookstore. I read them and I fell in love with them. And then I got book 4 from my library. I mean, I read them back to back to back to back. I also have recently read book 5, but I did not have a copy of book 4. And so I got it because, you know, I need to finish, like I have them all on my shelves. Why would I not buy the 4th copy? Like, hello. Oh, this is about, not this particular book, but this series in general is about a single mom named Finley Donovan who just kind of keeps getting caught up in so many different crimes, if you will. The very first one, she's kind of mistaken for a hit woman. She takes the job, but then it just kind of goes downhill. It's funny. There's some great side characters, some little kids throughout the book. Like there's a little love triangle, and just it's a good time. If you just need like some comedic relief, I don't know. There's a lot of funny bits, but pick that up. So also back in March when they did the buy 2 get 1 free, so I got those 3 books that I just whatever Kaiser. And then I also picked up 3 more books. So I got 6 books total. Look, a deal is a deal and a sale is a sale. And so I got this entire trilogy. The Jade City trilogy. I don't know what it's called. Is it called the Greenbone Saga? Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. But they're out of order. But we have Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy in hardback. I got these because so many people love this series, and I was like, you know what, but I don't know, I just got it because that's what we do here in the book community. We just buy shit. Do I know what this is about? Absolutely not. But a lot of people that I have very similar taste with in books love this. Some of them put this on like their 6-star books, their favorite books of all time, the best series to read, blah blah blah. You get it, got it, good. So I get it, I got it, and I get it, and I'm good. Okay, this next book, I've actually read one Brandon Sanderson book. I read Trust of the Emerald Sea or Trust in the Emerald Sea or Trust in the Emerald Sea. I read that book and I loved it, okay? It just gave me the right vibes. It gave me like, I don't know, it's not like a retelling of A Princess Bride, but it definitely gives those vibes, and I think that's why I loved it so much. And so I was like, of course, I'm about to dive into all of Brandon Sanderson's books, and so I've been slowly picking them up. And so I got another one to add to my little collection, Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archive series. Haven't started it yet, but you know, one day. Okay, up next I have That's What She Said by Eleanor Pilcher. This was a book that was sent to me, and I'm kind of glad that it was because it kind of sounds good. So we have two friends, Beth and Serena, and let me just tell you what. My name is Beth, okay, if you didn't know. Like, just Beth. It's not Bethany, it's not Elizabeth, it's not Mary Beth, it is just Beth. You could easily just go into a souvenir shop and find anything, truly, with my name on it. Like, it is that common. Except for the fact that, like, as a child, I even switched schools a lot because we moved a lot growing up. I had never even gone to a school ever with anyone with the name Beth. I've never worked with anyone with the name Beth. I think I've only ever met one other person in my entire life that has the name Beth. Like, just Beth, not Bethany, Beth Ann, Mary Beth, whatever. And so it's like the most common but also uncommon name. Because if you think about it, even like celebrity wise, like there's a lot of Jennifers and Jessicas and Ashleys and whatever, but for Beth to be so common, it's kind of uncommon. I can think of one celebrity with the name Beth, and it's the blonde girl from Two Broke Girls. So I've been a reader my whole life too, and besides like the past like year or two, I've hardly came across any person, any character in the book that's just Beth. Occasionally a side character will be named Beth. But here recently, in the past like year or so, I have been reading so many books with characters that have the name Beth. Now, is her full name Beth, or is it short for something? I don't know. I haven't read the book yet, but she's a main character, and her name is Beth. I've never in my life met, seen, saw, read about even a baby that's named Beth. Is the name going extinct? I don't know. Anyway, so this book is about two friends named Beth and Serena. They work together, but they're complete opposites of each other, okay? And Beth is a demisexual, and which I believe means that she becomes sexually attracted to someone after she's formed a super emotional connection with that person, which would be really hard to like have a sex life if you're not like in a committed relationship, I would assume. She's just tired of being a virgin at this point. And so she takes the help from her friend Serena, and they do things like dating apps and speed dating and sex therapy and escort, things like that to, you know, send Beth on her little orgasm journey, I guess you would say. With her new personal journey just might end their friendship for good. I think a man might enter the story. I don't know, but it sounds good. And the blurb says that it's witty and funny and this, that, and the other, so. And her name is Beth. Duh. Oh, this next book. I actually already read this. I don't annotate a ton, but I annotated it, and I'm so glad I did because I loved it so much. And I have the ugly cover, you know? Like, so they had the very original cover, was like an orange cover, and then they redid the cover that makes it look like you're reading a young adult book. And then I saw that they were releasing a special edition book, and I was like, this is the cover this book deserves. It's given cotton candy, it's given beautiful, it's given sprayed edges, it has a pink book underneath with some holographic stuff going. It's gorgeous. The end papers even. It's stunning. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. Stunning. Stunning. That is actually the only book that I bought in May so far. So I do have Stephen King's book pre-ordered that comes in towards the end of May, but I'm gonna try so hard this month to not buy anything else. I might give myself one free pass. So then at the end of May, it'll be like a 3-book situation. But that's book 1. Stephen King book is book 2, which is Never Flinch. And as of right now, we're doing good. And it's what, like the 8th, the 9th, something like that. So I was in a Patreon. I've since got out of it because I joined it for the book club, and then I've been in it for a few months, and I have yet to read any of the books for the book club. And so I was like, let me go ahead and get out of it until I can catch up with whatever, and then finally join. Last month it was Sense and Sensibility, and I bought the book because I was planning on joining along, but in April, unfortunately, for the most part, I was in a horrible reading slump and I didn't get to do it. But I did buy the book for when I do get around to it. This cover is so trippy. Anyway, I can't wait to get to it. I haven't even read Little Women yet. I've never even read Pride and Prejudice. I really need to get on to a lot of these classics for sure. Oh man, Abby Jimenez, her newest book came out called Say You'll Remember Me. I haven't been hearing many good things about this book. For the most part, I have been hearing people don't like the fact that she threw in a lot of like current day stuff. Like she talks about ACOTAR in this book. She talks about TikTok, things like that. And right now in the moment, yes, it's giving cringe. And maybe 5-10 years from now, it might date the book a little more because of that. Or maybe 5 to 10 years from now. You know, like sometimes when I read a book and I'm in the characters talking about their MySpace page, or they're talking about a video game that we all played, like they're talking about Pokemon Go, you know, like when the whole world was playing Pokemon Go for a little while. Like it's a little bit of nostalgia going on. So maybe 10 years from now, that's what this book will feel like. You know, like it really gave the time that it was written in. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there, but I haven't picked it up yet because again, in April, I was in such a bad reading slump. I didn't want to pick up any of the books that I was hoping to truly love because I felt like because I wasn't in the mood to read at all, I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I would enjoy it had I read it when I was in the mood to read. Does that make any sense? I don't know, but it makes sense in my brain. All I know is they meet and they dislike each other. Then they go on a date and they hit it off, but then she's moving. And so she's like, sorry, like you could have been like my husband, but I gotta move, bro. So I don't know. That's, and they talk about Resand a lot. I feel like the author compares the main character to like look like Resand, which is kind of weird, but it's okay. This next book is probably going to be the closest thing to receiving a Stephen King arc that I'm going to get. And it's because it's a book. It's an arc, but it's not by Stephen King. It's by Stephen King's offspring, Joe Hill. And that is King Sorrow. Joe Hill. Hill is his middle name. Definitely could pass for a last name, though. It's Joe Hill King. So in this book, we have Arthur. Arthur is a reader, a dreamer, and a student at Wreckham College, Maine, renowned for its frosty winters, exceptional library, and beautiful buildings. I hope the atmosphere, I hope like it gives that, like when you're reading this book. But his romance with Gwyn is shattered when a local drug dealer and her partner corner him into one of the worst crimes he can imagine, stealing rare books from the college library. Anyway, and I believe him and a bunch of his closest friends summon a dragon. Is it one dragon or multiple dragons? It could be multiple dragons to get those rare books back. And then it says, but there's nothing simple about dealing with dragons, and their pact to save Arthur becomes a terrifying bargain in which the six must choose a new sacrifice for King Sorrow every year or become his next meal. So a pact of college students. I don't know. I really like books that have like you know, like It. I digress. And then dragons. I don't think I've ever read a horror book that has dragons in it. So I'm excited about this one. She's a chonker. A door stopper. I'm sorry, but this cover is absolutely stunning. This is stunning. Stunning. And you can see like the canvas and the paint marks and oh, it's beautiful. And I love when paperbacks have the flap. So this is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I don't know what this is about. Truly have no idea. But I've seen a lot of people read it and love it. And some even loved it more than the Magnolia Park series. And so I was like, let me get it. And I know it's not part of the Magnolia Park series, but I have heard that a side character or something from that series is in this book. I got the book, okay? That's all that you need to know. These are in no particular order, but for Easter, because I am who I am, I was like, I want, you know, something for Easter. I've like put my kids' baskets and gifts and stuff together, and I was like, well, I'm going to treat myself to something for Easter. And so I ordered this trilogy. This is the Robin Hobb Farseer trilogy. The first one being Royal Assassin. This is like the hardcover illustrated editions that were recently released. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get them because why not? So I got all three of them. Have I read them yet? No. I do own Royal Assassin. No, I don't. That's not the first one. The first one is Assassin's Apprentice. I do own the first book in paperback. I'm glad I didn't like continue on and buy the whole trilogy, and then I, you know, because now I just have the one, whatever. You get it? You get it. This is blurbed. I just saw the blurb. By George R. Martin. Says fantasy as it ought to be written. I have heard 25 years ago, Robin Hobb's first novel featuring, so this, okay, this is a 25-year-old book. It's crazy that these books that have been out for so long are still so popular. Insane. And to me that shows the quality of the author's work. Because Robin Hobb is a lot of people's favorite when it comes to fantasy. They put her up there with the greats, and I am excited to dive in, and I think I'm gonna do a reading vlog on reading this trilogy soon because it sounds like it's gonna be fun. The very last book of this book haul is by far one of my most anticipated books of 2025, and I still haven't read it yet. So, okay, so and that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I don't even know what this book is about. I do know it's about authors or writers. I feel like Emily Henry does that a lot in her books. They're either like authors, writers, librarians, like they have something to do, publicists, to do with the book world. Alice Scott is an eternal optimist, still dreaming of her big writing break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud, and they're both on balmy little Crescent Island for the same reason: to write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years. Okay, it's giving Seven Husbands, or at least to meet the octogenarian, is that the right word? Like an 80-year-old who claims to be the Margaret Ives, tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. I hear that this one is more literary, less romance, which is fine for me because I like romance, I do, but I really love the romance books that are not super like heavy in the romance department, if you get my drift. So I'm excited to read it, truly am. I'm excited to put it on my bookshelf with all of my other Emily Henry books because they've been sitting on the floor this whole time, and now I can finally put them on my shelves. I really need to get my bookshelves themselves in order because a lot of this, when I was unpacking the boxes, I was just wanting it off the floors and onto my shelves, and so a lot of the series, they're not in any kind of order. I just plopped them up there. So unless I like knew the order by heart, I just plopped them up there. I really need to just go through and tweak everything, add all of these books to the shelves, and then maybe, just maybe, you can look out for a bookshelf tour coming up soon because I feel like it's time. You know? Do you feel like it's time? I feel like it's time. Are they even still a thing? Do people still do bookshelf tours? I don't see them very often. I see a lot of like bookshelf organization videos, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I am so hungry, and I'm gonna go eat something. Maybe avocado toast, soup, my feelings, who knows. Bye!